So the way the Amazon influencer program works is when my video converts a sale on a product and I earn 4%, it doesn't come from the seller, it comes from Amazon out of their 15% commission, which is crazy because when have you ever heard of Amazon giving up some of their money? You know what I mean? So Creator Connections is different because it allows brands to budget money and put their own percentage on it. So they could say, hey, for the next month, we're putting $5,000 into the ad bank here. And if you make a sale, you can earn an additional 10 or 20 or 30 or 40% or 15 or 25, whatever. They get to choose, right? 10 is really common. 20 is still pretty common. Occasionally, you'll come across 30 or 40%. And so what that means is now if I sell a $100 item, if I was only making 4%, I would make $4. But now there's a 20% commission on top of that. So now I'm making $24. So it's insane.
E-commerce is the greatest business opportunity of our generation. What is going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Ecom Unlimited podcast. It's your boy Kaj here with my co-host Josh.
What's going on, everybody?
And today we have a very special guest. He's actually been on the podcast once before, but this is the first time that me and Josh are interviewing him together. A lot of you guys will know him if you've been in this space. The man himself, the OG, Reezy Resells. How you doing, bro?
What up, Kaj? How you doing, man? It's your boy Reezy here.
Yes, sir. It's funny. So us, like a lot of other people, have spent a lot of time watching your YouTube videos in the early days. And I have some friends who also have done like flipping, whether it's on eBay or Amazon. And I remember the first time I met you in person, I sent them a selfie picture and they were like, how in the world did you beat Reezy? So it's still a really cool full circle moment for us just to be able to chop it up with you and talk about what's going on in the space. So thanks for your time.
Bro, it's a testament to why people should go to conferences. If I'm not mistaken, we met at the Miami Sellers Conference, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do a lot of podcasts, but it's like when someone sends me a request, like, "Hey, you want to be on my podcast?" There's a scale whether or not I feel like I want to do one, or like if I feel like I want to do them, maybe I'll do it. If I don't feel like, maybe I won't. But I'm also like trying to look at this person. Who are they? Who do they know that I know? Like blah blah blah. But like we met in person, and to be honest, I don't even know how many followers you have here or there or give about that, which is the type of stuff I would like look as a prerequisite. Like, is this going to benefit me? Should I go be on this person's podcast? Like, no, we kicked it in Miami and you know, you're doing your thing. And they're like, of course I'm going to show up.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right. Well, Josh, I know you got some questions lined up, so let's dive right in.
Yeah, Reezy, talk to us about how you got into Amazon and what it was like selling on the early days of Amazon.
All right. So I have always sold stuff, whether it was, you know, like candy at school or whatever. I don't come from a privileged background. So if I wanted money, I had to go outside and get it, right? Whether this was like getting 25-cent sodas back in the day when they were 25 cents, like store brand sodas, and then putting a trash bag in my backpack, stealing some ice from a hotel, and then walking up and down the beach and selling them for $1 or like just however, right? And so eventually I sold on Yahoo auctions in like 1996. A lot of people don't even know about that. And that led me to
year
eBay.
I was born.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Sorry. Dating myself big time. But then that led to eBay, which was the platform on eBay was way better. And so like I sold stuff on eBay and then I would like see the name of the person that bought stuff from me and their name wasn't just like John765. It was like John the Game Dealer. And I was like, huh. And they can click on his name, see what he sells. And that was like hours and hours. And I was losing sleep over just looking at data on eBay. And it was primitive. But I was like, wow, like you could buy someone's entire game collection on eBay and then sell it back on eBay like one game at a time and make money. And so I was learning stuff like that. And so I sold on eBay for a long time, maybe 8, 9. I mean, I still sell a little bit casually, but like, I don't know, maybe almost 10 years. But it was just like, I say like grocery money. Like at first I was a kid, I lived with my mom, but eventually I was married and had moved out of my house. I got married when I was 16 and had a kid. But I was just making like grocery money, like $500 a month. It wasn't enough to not have to work another, you know, full-time job. And so when I would go to Goodwills to get stuff. And this was before YouTube. This was before the iPhone came out, right? And so I was going off of what I knew. So that was like, as a typical dude grew up in the 90s, it's like video games, electronics, maybe some cool clothing, but mostly like video games and electronics, stuff I knew about. And if I didn't know what something was, sometimes I would write it down. I'd go look it up when I got home on the computer and come back. Or if I was feeling frisky, I would call my brother on a payphone, right? And I knew he's like super nerd. He's a little on the spectrum, but he's probably been sitting in front of a computer for the last 20 years of his life. And I'd call him up like, hey, Royce, look this up for me. And he'd let me know. And then we called that having a rabbit. So back in the day in reselling, you had to have a rabbit. Everyone had a rabbit. That was someone you knew that was sitting at a computer that you could call and have them look something up for you.
Oh, that's
right?
so funny.
Everybody had one. If you were serious, you had a rabbit for sure. And so eventually one day I just seen people in the thrift store with like carts of books, and I thought they worked there. And I asked them some questions. Like, oh, you're putting these books out? And like, I was an avid reader, so I knew books were worth money because I had sold all of my Star Wars books once, and I bought them brand new, and I had like 35 books, and they all sold for 75% of the retail value. And I started the auction at a penny, and it lotted all of them together, right? That was like my favorite thing to do back in the day. And so I had this like nugget in my brain that like, okay, used books are worth money. That was surprising. And then I see this person with all this cart, and I know the books are like 50 cents or $1 or whatever at the thrift store. And I'm like, hey, when are you putting these out? And then they were like, oh, I don't work here. And I'm like, what you don't work here? Like, what are you doing with all those books? And then they would clam up on me. They wouldn't tell me anything. Like, their whole body language changed. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh shit, they're making money. Like, they're making money and they don't want to tell me. And so I just did a lot of research trying to figure out where they were selling the books at. Cause like, I was like, okay, I had several places I could buy books, the Goodwill outlet, different thrift stores, but I didn't know where they were selling them. I didn't even know Amazon existed at the time. And so it was a process of just doing research, and I would look up scanning books on the internet. And they also had like Bluetooth barcode, not Bluetooth, but like laser beams, barcode scanners in 1999.
That's
right.
Crazy.
No, this wasn't 99. This was like 2003 by then. And I was like, they gotta be those barcode scanners probably cost like $100 each, and I didn't have a cell phone or anything back then. Like, I was super check to check, and I was like, they're making some money for sure. So I'd look it up. But what would come up when I looked up book scanning is like people telling you how to like make a machine to like check out books from the library and digitize it. Like to save your own copy of it, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? But eventually I seen someone scanning books who was someone I never recognized. They must have been from out of town, this sweet old lady. And I asked her, hey, what are you doing? And she was just super open and just told me everything she was doing. She was like, oh, I sell on Amazon. I'm using this app. It's called a seller tool, which is now called FBA scan, or actually was FBA scan, is now called Scoutly. A seller tool, FBA scan, Scoutly. And they had some knowledge on their website, and that was like it at the time.
Wow.
And so it was crazy because I tried so long to research it, and I resorted to asking. Like, I was like, this is the only way I'm going to do is ask people. And then I realized I had to be friendly and act like I didn't really care about the answer, because when I was coming in hot, people were closing up on me. And so I started approaching people like, what are you doing with those books? You know what I mean? Just like like I really didn't care. Like I was just some dummy. And eventually someone told me, and then it was off to the races. And so now I still didn't have the app or the device or whatever. I was blind buying books for like $5 a bag from the Goodwill outlet, and then going home and scanning them. I don't even think I had a barcode scanner. I think I was just typing them in. Right? Like, my number pad skills are pretty on fleek. And I was like, should I sell this one? Okay. Like, I didn't know what sales rank was or anything. I was pretty much just looking at price. And the funniest thing ever was I must have had maybe 1,000 books in my inventory, and I was just selling like one here or there, and I couldn't really crack the code. And the reason was because I was pricing them like this. There'd be like 10 pages of pricing, and I'd go to page 5, and I'd look at the price in the middle, and I'd be like, that seems about right. Not too high, not too low. And that's the price I would put. And my brother, who I told you is like, he's a little on the spectrum, he looks at it for like 3 seconds and just goes, why don't you make it the lowest price? And I was like, you're a genius. Like, why didn't I think of that? Like, I got them for a quarter. Who gives a shit, right?
The first
And so I
repricer.
put them all for the lowest price, and especially because they have been riding for like over a month, right? It was just like a quick burst of selling like over 100 the next day, right?
Wow.
From selling like 1 or 3 a week to selling 100 in one day because I just put everything on the lowest price. And so that's how I got started on Amazon. I quit my job at the skate shop. I was just retail sales at the skate shop. I quit that job within like 60 days of starting and did 100,000 in used books my first year
Holy
on
cow.
Amazon as an individual seller, which is crazy. I sold over 10,000 units as an individual seller. Not even
No.
paying $40 a month, which is crazy
No.
because later I learned the next year that, hey, if I would have paid $40 a month, I would have saved 10 grand by not paying that extra $1 a unit
Oh,
as
no.
a individual seller. So that's like how I got started. And if you came over to my house at that time period of my life, I lived in an upstairs 2-bedroom apartment. Our rent was $1,000 a month. It was amazing. It was such, that same place is like 3,000 now. The floor was sinking in from all the books in the storage. Like I had a like a $10 shelf from Goodwill every wall of my house, including my daughter's bedroom. Like I had 4-foot shelves stacked on top of 4-foot shelves, screwed together so they wouldn't fall over, like little tacked it up to the wall so they wouldn't tip over.
Jeez.
Like you'd come over and just be like, what's with all
What?
the like you like
What is
reading
going
or like
on?
what's going on here, you
He
know?
just
Like
loves reading.
yeah. So that's how I got into Amazon, and I sold actually pretty much only used books for a decade. I didn't even know you could sell anything else on Amazon. I experimented a little bit with like CDs, DVDs, and randomly board games, but it was just stuff I was coming across in my searches for books that had barcodes that for some reason I was like, let me scan that. And I scanned it and it came up and I was like, oh shit, you know, like but I never, not in a million years until I started YouTube in 2016 and I started turning other people onto the game to where like people who were doing way better than me, people that were already in 2016 doing like, you know, $500,000 a month retail arbitrage were like, hey, Reezy, like I put all my homies onto you when they want to learn and they ask me, but like, why are you still selling books? Why don't you sell Nike? Like, I'm sure you could sell Nike. And I'm just like, what? People could sell Nike? Like my mind was blown. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my Amazon journey in a nutshell, and then started YouTube in 2016.
Okay. So then how long would you say, starting at that, 100K first year, how far did you actually scale books up before you maybe started pivoting towards, other items?
Yeah, good question. So my highest year selling used books, sadly, was like 989,000 in
So
books.
close.
I never broke $1 million a year selling used books, and it was super frustrating. I was like, we're going to hit it. We're going to hit it. And we didn't hit it. I was so bummed out, but still, like, you got to understand, like, the fees were so low back then. Like when I did that year, 989,000, the fees were such that I don't remember the fees exactly, but I could sell a book for $4 and the payout would be $1.35 FBA.
Oh,
So I would sell a book for $4 and the payout would be $1.35. And the
man.
reason that was really crazy is because other people could only sell a book for a penny, right? And that merchant fulfilled 1 penny was the lowest you could price it. You can't go less than a penny, right? And shipping costs were fixed at the time. You couldn't adjust your shipping cost. So the lowest a merchant fulfilled order could ever sell for was $4, $3.99 shipping plus 1 penny. So I would send it FBA and put it at $4 and get the buy box over everybody every time, no matter what. And I wasn't touching them. And it was like, I remember when FBA came out, I was like, what? I got the email, like I started looking into it, but it seemed like a lot of people didn't trust Amazon. And because even back then
Hmm.
they were still, you know, raising the fees on you and you know how Amazon works. But it's just like my competition didn't get the memo. So once I realized FBA was good, the first way I got into FBA was I was buying worthless books that would scan for 1 penny, but had really good sales ranks. So any lightweight book I could find that was in like new condition that was scanning as 1 penny, but the sales rank was really popular, like 100,000 or less, I was sending it in and turning it into $1.35 payout. But I was paying like 15, 25 cents for each one. So I was 4Xing my money. And I went from getting like, let's say 2 to 4 bags of books a day at the Goodwill outlet to getting like 10 to 20 I remember one day I got so much books that me and my wife were loading them into the car, and there's no room for me to sit in the car. And so I was just like, you drive the car home, I'll walk to the bus station and take the bus. Like, there was literally no room. We had a topper on the car that was full.
Oh my
Like,
God.
literally, it
Holy
was like,
cow.
roll the windows down partway and pour the books in.
Oh
You know
my
what I mean?
gosh.
Like, when you have
And
that
roll 'em
much
back up.
inventory.
Wait, so
Yeah.
If
how
you've
many
never had
units
so
of
much
books?
inventory in your car that when you open the doors, shit pours out, you're not a reseller.
How many units of books did you sell that year, do you think?
I would say, I don't know the exact number, but I do know my average price was around like $7 or so.
Holy cow.
So if you do the math, somewhere
Yeah,
in
wait, I'm
there.
doing the math right now. So
It's gotta be
989,000
over
divided by 7, 141,000 books.
Wow.
That's a
That's
lot
crazy.
of
Yeah,
books.
so we were at that time we were operating in 2 different locations. We had an operation running in Hawaii and then an operation here. And I've talked about it a little bit, but not a ton. I haven't like made a YouTube video specifically about this. But what happened is my best friend Scotty G, he ended up moving to Hawaii, and he was one of the only persons that I taught the book hustle, because back then I thought it was like James Bond. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to tell anybody shit. I still had a scarcity mindset. You know, this was like the most legal money I had ever made in my life. And I was like, who knows how long this will last for? Right. And so I told him, and then he still didn't start and didn't believe me, but I went out to visit him in Hawaii once, and I scheduled, because I never thought I'd ever get to go to Hawaii, but then you have a friend.
Right.
So my best friend ends up moving to Hawaii, which is crazy because I never thought I would get to go to Hawaii. And where I live in California, it's a surf town, and there's a lot of kids that are like pretty rich. Their parents have a house there. Here, they would always be like, I went to Hawaii this summer. And I was like, shut the fuck up, you rich kid. Like, I remember I would lie about what I did over the summer just to seem cool, because I realized they're not fact checking this shit. Like, what'd you do over the summer? You could say whatever the hell you want. I went to the Taj Mahal. Like, you know what I mean? No one knows. They're not gonna like, sure you did. Like, no, they don't do that. Anyway, so I was like, hey, you got to start doing this book thing. He didn't really believe me. He was kind of like on the fence, you know? And so I went out to visit him in Hawaii, which was amazing, because when you have a friend that lives in Hawaii, it's a little bit cheaper to go stay there, right? And I planned my trip, as all booksellers do, while there was a library sale. So library sales are when libraries liquidate all their donated books. They'd have like a big sale once or twice a year, and it's the craziest feeding frenzy type thing you've ever seen in your life. It's like high speed, like beep 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 beep. People are leapfrogging each other. Like, people got teams of like 5 or 10 people. Like, it's insane. So I go out there during the annual Friends of the Library sale for the Honolulu Library while I'm visiting him, and I pull about $3,000 of profit for $300. So that's kind of like what the margins were back in the day. And a good library sale is still like that, but they might be charging a little bit more. But you spend about $100, you walk out with $1,000 profit after your cost of goods. And so now I'm back at his house sorting all these books, right? And they're like in his living room, like, 300 books or whatever it is. And I made an FBA shipment, which at first I was like, oh shit, we can't do UPS. There's no UPS from Hawaii, right? And I was like, what are we going to do? And then I was like, oh, media mail. Like, you can send media mail and it gets put on a boat, but it takes like 30 to 45 days to get to the mainland. But it wasn't integrated to Amazon at the time. So I had to purchase it using a third-party shipping software. I think we were using Indicia back then. But this was also cool because this made me realize that all the money I had been spending on shipping, I'd been throwing it away, because when I purchased shipping on Indicia, I was using a points credit card, and I was now getting points off of shipping. And I wasn't getting points off shipping before. So I was like, oh, I'm doing it like this forever now. Like, this is way better. And so I media mail them. They go off to California. I get back a full month and a half before they even go active or whatever. But he saw what happened, and he was like, damn, like, okay, now I'm going to do it. You know how like someone could tell you something and you're like maybe not listening, but then like you walk into it and you're like, oh shit, like, you're really doing this shit. Okay, I see you, you know? And so then he started doing it. And then eventually he started going to college in Hawaii, and he didn't have as much time. And so he needed some help. He needed a partner. He needed to like, there was just a couple things that he needed help with. And I remember he bought out, I told him to, but he bought out like all the leftovers of an entire end of the library sale. but he needed a chunk of money for that, and then more importantly, someone to help him process all the books, because it was like it filled up two 10 by 15 storage units, like as densely packed as you could from front to back, floor to ceiling. And so I gave him a little income boost so he could get storage units covered for like the next 3 months or whatever. Because before that, he was running out of his house, and I was already running a model like my house plus like transitioning to a storage unit, you know? And so then I flew out there, and like we worked 12-hour days for 10 days to process all of those books till they were all off to FBA. But it was like the hardest. It's pretty hard work. It was that type of work where you get done at the end of the day and you get like an ice cold Sprite, and you're like, dude, this is the best thing I've ever drank in my entire life right now. Like insane. And so then we partnered, right? And like everything went together. So we had 2 locations. So it wasn't just me in one location. It was me and my wife and my brother and my good friend were helping me. So they were coming with me to gather books, and then they were making shipments. So me and my wife were also going to get the books in the morning, go when the new books come out at the Goodwill outlet, and then do our routes, go to thrift stores. But then when we get back, we're not like processing shipments or anything. The boys were doing that. And so he had a similar model to where, but he didn't have like friends and family over there. So he had to hire off of Indeed one person to stay at the Goodwill outlet 40 hours a week. And then they would bring the books to a storage unit, and then another person to process them and create shipments, you know, part-time, 20 hours a week. So it was compartmentalized. The person who was making the shipments didn't know where the books were coming from, and the person who was gathering the books didn't know what to do after that. And we had them set up with scanners that would just like, you know, tell you yes or no if you should buy it. And we were overbuying, so some of them were crap, but it didn't really matter. It was just the easiest way to do it. And we had little like tracking mechanisms. We were using Android phones and shit, which I don't really like, but it's just easier to operate like that, you know? So we knew where they were, and we could kind of maintain the employee tracking or whatever. But yeah, that's how we did it. I don't want people to think I just did that many units, you know, all by myself, but
sure.
Yeah, that's a serious operation
days.
though. Yeah, that's a super legit operation.
Back then, I think some of the biggest companies had like the automated conveyor belt scanning systems.
Mm-hmm.
But now you can buy those for like 50 grand, 40 grand, used maybe 30 grand. But people back then, they were like no less than $250,000, $500,000, engineered by like ex-NASA scientists. Like it was insane.
That's crazy. What made you decide to post on YouTube and share some of those wins there, and then had that kind of change the trajectory of your business?
So basically what happened is I had always wanted to be a YouTuber. And I thought I was going to be like a Casey Neistat or something. I don't know why, but that was just my first thought of like YouTube success. Was like, I saw Casey Neistat videos and they were cool, but I didn't think they were crazy special. And I was like, I could do that. I was like, wait, people are chasing him like he's the Beatles and he's just a video editor? Like, this is insane. I want to do that.
You set the standard.
Yeah, and I'm a skateboarder, so I grew up making skate videos and cameras, and like also being a neglected child. I was always the center of attention. I was never afraid to like speak out. So like it was just right up my alley. Like I had video productions class in 6th grade, like shoulder cameras, you know? Like when I was in high school, it was the year that the Mac came out where you could edit video on a Mac, and it was like the first time you could do it for less than like $100,000, you know, on a computer, because before that they were like crazy expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So I always wanted to do it, and I thought I was just going to be this vlogger or whatever. Like, just imagine how naive I was and like lack of self-awareness in this scenario. Anything could have worked on YouTube like back then, or you know, especially even earlier, because I remember when YouTube came out, I was like, cool, a free place to store videos. Like that's all I thought of it as, because DVD blanks were like $2 a piece, and I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like a free hard drive. But one day I found a copy of Gary Vee's book, Crush It, and I scanned it. It wasn't worth anything, so I almost threw it back, but something about it made me want to like look at it, because I had realized that I like reading a lot. And so I realized as a bookseller that when a book is really popular, there has to be a reason why it's really popular. Or even if it's not really popular, but it's worth a lot, there has to be a reason. People are not just buying it to buy it. And so oftentimes I would take books that were worth a lot of money or weren't worth money but were popular and seemed interesting, and I would put them to the side and I would read them before I sold them, right? So I just had this habit. I was reading like I don't know, 15 books a month. Like, just I'd read it. If I wasn't interested, switch over to another one, whatever. This book was black and green. So right away, it made me think about money, like black with green text. And the title was Crush It: How to Cash In on Your Passion Using Social Media. Right. And I was like, and then also just the title being Crush It. It made me feel like whoever wrote this book must be a cool dude. Because what older dude who's not cool is going to make a book called Crush It? It's just like it's like a millennial slang,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so, or Gen X or whatever you want to call it. Anyways. And so I and then I turned it over on the back, and there was a foreword from Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos. And I literally that week had just read the Zappos book, Delivering Happiness, which I recommend everybody read because it's my favorite type of book of entrepreneurs like going from the grind, almost lose it all, then become, a big brand in history that we'll all remember. But it's like the struggle, right, that a lot of us go through. So that just put me over the edge. And I was like, okay, putting it in the read pile. Read the whole book that night. They literally went to take a shit, didn't get off the toilet till I finished the whole book because it's only like 150. It's only like 150 pages, right? So
Okay.
Yeah.
I got off with legs limping around, I went straight to my laptop, and it was the entire game plan. When I finished that book, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I knew I was going to be Reezy Resells. My last name's Resendez. Everyone already called me Reezy, everybody. And so I was like, Reezy Resells. Like, great, alliteration, wonderful. That's what we're going with. And then Gary was like, even like, oh, here's a website you can check, a one-stop shop to check if your socials are available on every platform. So I ran it through there, and it was available on everything: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, everything. And so I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. Bought the website that night, didn't do anything with it for like 6 months. Bought the website, signed up for the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, which was pictures only at the time. And I think it
Wow.
might have still been iPhone only too. Instagram was iPhone only for a while. Just signed up for everything. And then just started doing what Gary Vee said. Literally just document your life and show people what you're doing and talk about it and provide value. And so at least my first 50 videos on YouTube probably were, I was on Snapchat, and I used to go so hard on Snapchat. I was so bullish on Snapchat. I haven't used it for years now, but people would DM me a message and I would video reply. And like, it was easier for me to reply like that, but also people valued it more. Like, oh shit, he sent me a video. Like, oh my God, And so I would create a story like you would on Snapchat of your day to day, which is like making a video inside of the video camera, like just record, stop. Like, we call that editing in the camera, right? Like when you make a movie without having to edit it because you did it all on the camera.
Right.
And so, but I modified it by turning my camera sideways. So I was like, sorry, it's sideways, but I'm putting these on YouTube when I'm done every day. So like, watch it or don't. Like, I don't give a fuck. And so I filmed it all sideways on Snapchat. And then at the end of the day, I had an alarm on my phone to make sure I download my story for that day. Because back then they didn't archive it, it would disappear. So then I would download it, and then it would be filmed sideways, but still be vertical. So then I would rotate it, and then I would put it on YouTube. And so my first like 30 to 50 videos on YouTube were just Snapchat stories that I turned sideways. And still to this day, I tell people, I'm like, people are like, I can't make a vlog. What am I going to do? And I was like, yes, you can. You probably have an Instagram or a Snapchat. Just turn that sideways, film, talk your shit, like whatever's actually happening in your day-to-day life, because it's naturally a story. Save it at the end, put it on YouTube. There you go. Like, it's about as raw as it gets, and still to this day, the craziest shit is many people actually are like, those are your best videos. And I was like, bro, shut the fuck up. Those are my best videos. Like, get it off. Like, calm down. Like, I actually put no effort into that. And that's the best videos, but people love it because it's raw. It's like, you know what I mean? So that's how I got into YouTube and, onto like meeting Gary Vee, I guess. But I knew I had to meet the guy at some point because he totally changed my life. Like, I went from, oh, I'm going to do it like this, to being like, oh shit, no, you have like this gold locked in your head. This is how you're going to do it. And the crazy thing was, back then, all the dudes on YouTube teaching e-commerce were like older dudes that were like 55, 60, like wearing button-up shirts and slacks and like had a comb over. No, none of them could like authentically even wear a baseball cap. Like if I'm trying to explain like how uncool
Yeah.
they were, and no disrespect to any of these OGs, but it's like, I realized they weren't relatable. They weren't relatable to the average person, and they certainly weren't relatable to people like me that came from a lesser upbringing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I realized, I was like, I could teach people like me. You know what I mean? Like if my parents would have seen my content, you know what I mean, when they were younger, our life would have been way better. Not that I would change anything, but that set me off on a realization of like, wow, like, okay, cool, I'm gonna make money on this YouTube thing. But then once I started getting an influx of messages from people like, you're helping me, or like getting spotted in Disneyland by people and they're like crying like, oh, you changed our lives, and I'm just like, that shit's heavy, man. And I'm not a religious person, like, but I do believe like everything happens for a reason, and I believe in karma. And so like I believe in spirituality for sure. And so I started to think like, okay, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Like starting to feel like I have a purpose in life, which is a far like different feeling from where I was before, which was like, I'm going to get this money. Like, this is my money. This is my opportunity. You know, like people say when I was a kid, they'd be like, oh, it's better to give than to receive. And I'm like, yeah, sure, buddy. Give me some shit. And then I'll tell you. You know what I mean? But now I know I would rather help someone else make $1,000 than make $1,000 for myself, which sounds completely stupid because like I need to remodel my kitchen right now. I need 40 grand for that. But it's just the truth. It's just how I feel. Like me making $1,000 doesn't feel that amazing to me. I've done it a million times.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But teaching someone else how to make $1,000 who's never done that before, who is literally every thousand they've ever made is working a job that they hate and they're thinking about quitting every single day. Like you can't, I don't know. That feeling is just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see almost like the fire in like their eyes and everything, and then like it kind of changes like the whole perspective of like their life. It's so sick.
What year was it that you met Gary Vee? Because I think that's how I first discovered your YouTube.
I started YouTube in January of 2016, and I want to say I met Gary in 2017 sometime. So like a year and a half later. So it took me about a year with a totally planned plot that I executed to make it happen. It's not like a magical thing that happened. I made it happen.
Was that when he was doing the Daily V when he first started it?
So yes, that's when it started. Yeah, he was doing the Daily V. He was still doing the Ask Gary V show, and he was doing the 2017 Flip Challenge. So it was definitely during 2017, maybe later 2017. But
then what happened because that's when I started watching him.
Yeah,
so
he was like, oh, I'm doing the 2017 Flip Challenge, and I was like, this is it. Like I know more about this than Gary does, way more, and this is how I'm going to provide value to his audience and get on his radar. You know, so 2017 is when that happened.
Well, I kind of wanted to transition because I feel like you're still, teaching people how to make money online in terms of the Amazon Influencer Program. Talk to us a little bit about that and why you're so excited about this program.
1 second, I just have to text this
text Gary
Facebook Marketplace pickup. I got to delay this dude a little bit. It's all good. They delay me all the time. They can wait. You know what I mean? No disrespect to all the Facebook buyers out there, but yeah, 50 to 80% of y'all making the rest look pretty bad. You know how it is, man.
Oh yeah,
I'll be there in 15 minutes. I can't come. You're like, bro,
come on.
I literally put this in my schedule. So the Amazon Influencer Program is crazy. First off, let me just start this by saying, and some people might not like, especially gurus, might not like to hear me say this, but I'm like, this is way better opportunity than selling physical products right now. It might not last. It's probably not going to last. It's too damn good to be true. But my advice to everybody is to focus as much attention on this program as you can, or related programs like TikTok Shop Affiliate, or just UGC in general, which stands for User Generated Content. And you could always go back to selling physical stuff. That's never going to go anywhere. Never, ever going to go anywhere. Now, obviously, if you're building out like wholesale or private label, like those are more long-term plays, and you're investing your time to create a more of a long-term payday, which is amazing. But if you're just doing retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, there's nothing long-term about that. You are literally one work for one money, essentially. Like, I mean, maybe at scale you can buy a lot of quantity or whatever, but you could make far more money doing the Amazon influencer program or TikTok shop affiliate or just being a UGC specialist for brands. And the results are insane. So I started at first over a year ago just because I seen my boy RJ Martinez, shout out RJ Hustles. He was doing it. And he was like, Reezy, get on the train. And I was like, bet. Like, he's one of those persons that everyone should have people like that around him. When they tell you to get on the train, you don't question it. You just get on the train. And so I started looking into it, and I filmed 220 videos with products in my...
Sorry to interrupt you real quick, but can you just explain what the Amazon Influencer program is for someone who doesn't know?
The Amazon Influencer program it's a subset of the Amazon Associates or like Affiliates program, and it allows you to create videos that then get put on the product detail page on Amazon. So, for example, I definitely made a video about this Xbox controller. And I was like, hey, I love this Xbox controller. I use it for the computer. It has USB-C. I don't really use it for the Xbox so much. To be honest, I don't even have an Xbox. I just use this on my computer. The buttons are great. It has 6-axis gyroscope, force feedback. The triggers even have force feedback, which is super dope. And it's just classic, first gen, console made, like whatever. Super easy video. And then I upload that and I tag the product on Amazon. And if I'm lucky, it doesn't happen for everybody because there's a competition on Amazon to put the best video. It goes on the top carousel on the product page. So this is where the photos are that the brand puts. So when you're looking at a product and you go through the photos and you get to the end and you see a video from the brand, the video from the brand is like, phew, Xbox 360 controller, whoa, like, it's not even real. Like, people don't realize that's not even a video. That's like a CGI generated thing, right? And so it's not relatable to the average person. So what happens is, like, you're thinking about buying it, but you're not sure. So you watch a video. You see that video, it doesn't convince you to buy it anymore because it's just a commercial. But when you see a video from a regular dude wearing a ball cap that you can relate to, that's like, oh, I've had this for like 4 years, never fails. The battery lasts forever. Like, I can't even remember the last time I charged this thing. You go, okay, cool. I feel like I can trust that guy. And then you buy it. If my video was the last one you watched, I get a commission. There's anywhere from 2 to 10% depending on the category, right? So most categories are 2 to 4. There is some more high-end ones, but so if it's a $100 item, I get $2 to $4 every time it sells. And it's kind of like a real estate, like having doors in real estate. It's a somewhat evergreen catalog-based business, to where the more videos you make, the more opportunities you have to make money. And it's not going to make me money forever, but as long as this is being bought on Amazon and my video's in the carousel, I have an opportunity to make money. Now, if they come out with a newer one, or if it goes out of stock, or they don't sell this one anymore, things are going to change. But some things will last for a incredibly long time. I'm just like looking at my desk right now. Everything on my desk, like my whole streaming setup, was like the first stuff I reviewed. And so I made 220 videos in 1 week for when I got excited. Trust me. But these are very easy. They're all one-take videos filmed on my phone. I'd say 70% of them I'm holding it and they're faceless. 10% I'm holding it up like this, and then the other 10% I threw it in the ring light tripod because I had to like demonstrate something with my hands. And none of these are with a microphone or anything. This is literally just using my iPhone 14. That's it. And from those videos, I started making, I forget how much I made the first month, but I was making like 500, 600, 800, 900 a month. And mind you, this was less than 40 hours of work. And I'm making 600, 800, 900. You know what I mean? I think I made like 8,000 in the first year off of 40 hours of work.
That's nuts.
And so I was like, wow, this is insane. But what happened was Amazon changed things up like they always do. And then me making like 800 or 900 a month turned into like 100 to 200. And so I got really bummed out and kind of was like, man, they robbed me. Like I just got deflated. And I also had started to run out of stuff to review in my house. Like, I just don't have a ton of stuff. We're pretty frugal. I also like to buy things like buy once, cry once, like buy things that last a really long time. And so a lot of the stuff I have, it's not even listed on Amazon anymore. You know what I mean? And so there's definitely more stuff I could find. Like if I go into the bathroom and start going through my wife's beauty products and like soaps and stuff I wasn't thinking about, it was less obvious. But just to explain why I got deflated. And so I took a break for pretty much a year. And so for a whole nother year, I was getting a paycheck randomly, 100 to 200 or 250 a month from Amazon from this, like just whatever, just still coming in. But it wasn't enough to get me excited, especially to make another 200 videos or whatever. But the reality is 40 hours of work, that's totally worth it. I should have just kept going. So then I go to Miami Sellers Conference and I meet Trev and Cade Peterson, the owners of Viral View software. And I was like, hey, I want to talk about the Amazon influencer program. And Avery was like, oh, you can't because Trev and Kate are going to talk about that. And Trev, we're like all standing together. And I was like, bro, that's what my speech is about. What the hell are you talking about? And Trev just goes, no worries. Like, let him do it. Like, I'll talk about private label or whatever. And I was like, oh, thank you, man. Like, I appreciate you, you know? And then we were like on a panel together. And so we spent some time together. Like, this is another testament to why networking is very important, you know? And so I got to know them. They told me about their software. I started looking into it. And then they started to tell me about something called Creator Connections, which is a new program on Amazon, which allows you to earn bonus money every time you sell something through the Amazon Influencer Program. So the way the Amazon Influencer Program works is when my video converts a sale on a product and I earn 4%, it doesn't come from the seller, it comes from Amazon out of their 15% commission, which is crazy because when have you ever heard of Amazon giving up some of their money? You know what I mean? Like, so Creator Connections is different because it allows brands to budget money and put their own percentage on it. So they could say, hey, for the next month, we're putting 5,000 into the ad bank here. And if you make a sale, you can earn an additional 10 or 20 or 30 or 40% or 15 or 25, whatever. They get to choose, right? 10 is really common. 20 is still pretty common. Occasionally you'll come across 30 or 40%. And so what that means is now if I sell a $100 item, if I was only making 4%, I would make $4. But now there's a 20% commission on top of that. So now I'm making $24. So it's insane. And so I started hitting it really hard and I'm not really trying to plug the software, but like if you're not using it, you're not smart. Like, so just like it is what it is. It saves you a lot of time. It saves me like four hours a day, right? Using their software and makes me more money. So you have the Creator Connections program, and then they have, because of Creator Connections, there's now a button in the Creator Connections. When you click on the campaign, you can message the brand and you can say, hey, here's my stats and my influencer and I'm a YouTuber or like whatever. And I would love to review your product in exchange for a free sample. And then they say, sure, what's your address? And they send you a free sample. Well, Viral View made it even easier to where they not only make it very easy to evaluate products, like if you're an Amazon seller, you know what Jungle Scout is. It's kind of like Jungle Scout. It pops everything up in a table, makes it sortable. They created a scoring system so you could look at one number instead of having to look at everything, and you can sort by whatever you want to find whatever you want. So I'm on the pro plan. Full disclosure, I'm not paying for it because I'm an affiliate. But I think it is like $150 a month maybe for the pro plan. Totally worth it. It allows you to send 100 messages a day to brands. Now you can manually message as much as you want, but you have to find a campaign, click on it, then click message, then paste your message, right? Well, what Viral View lets you do is you load up like 20,000 products, find the ones you want, and click a checkbox next to them, and then click send messages, and it automatically sends the messages to everybody. So now I'm able to find 100 products to request a sample, and I do it every single day in maybe 30 minutes, 60 minutes on a rough day. And that was taking 4 hours before. So now I have a virtual assistant that I hired from the Philippines for $4 an hour, and her only job is to do the sample requests every day. It takes her 2 hours, but that's worth it for me. It cost me $8, and those 2 hours I can use to film videos. Yesterday, I filmed 45 videos in 2 hours. Wow. So that's completely worth it to me, right? So I forget exactly where the question was, but basically Creator Connections allows you to earn more money. So my whole entire business model is request 100 samples every day. Then they show up, I open the boxes, I film the videos, upload them, tag the products, make a dump run once a week for the cardboard. You wouldn't believe how much cardboard I have in my house. It's enough to fill my entire SUV like completely full. It's like a pallet of cardboard. So here's my numbers since starting in July. I'm not completely done with my 3rd month yet of hitting it hard. And I say I started in July because I kind of started again and started hitting the Creator Connections program hard, sending 100 messages a day and filming as much as I can. So in July, I did 700 for my first month. 7 take home, profit, right? Like
Wow.
no overhead, right?
Yeah.
I'm just getting free products, and let's not even talk about the fact that you can keep or sell those products on Facebook Marketplace. That's a whole nother thing, right? So 700 in July, and then August I did 3,000.
Dang.
Yeah, talk about growth, right? And now on September, I'm at like 4,400 right now. So I'm going to do 5,000 before September closes out.
Dang.
Wow. And Q4 is coming right around the corner.
Exactly.
Too.
October, I'm going to do no less. October, I'm going to do no less than 7,000, right? And then November, I'm going to say at least 9,000, but Holiday Boost is going to turn that to 10 or 12.
I was going to say November,
right?
December probably will be 10K
And then
plus
December would be probably naturally like 11, 12. Because I'm growing at about 2,000 a month, but with Holiday Boost, that's going to be 15 and maybe 20. Like if my mind just gets completely blown, and so, I mean, what world is this where you can just send for zero overhead? I have spent nothing.
Insane.
Right? And if you're a Amazon seller, you're positioned to do better at this than most people because we know Amazon.
Yes.
We know how the data works. We know what to look for, what makes a good selling product, what doesn't. There's some nuances you need to learn, like how many people does Amazon allow on the carousel right now, because it changes. And so that's like some of your search terms is like, okay, I want products that have over 50,000 a month revenue, you know, they're selling well, but also has less than 5 influencers on the carousel. And then those are the things I'm requesting. And so now, since I am focusing entirely on Creator Connections items, my daily total, let's say I do 150 or 200 in a day. I had my highest day ever, like maybe 4 or 5 days ago, I did $282 in a single day. But I'm trending, I'm always above 100 and like average over 150 a day. And most people will realize like 150 a day, that's 50,000 a year. 300 a day, that's 6 figures a year, right? So I'm getting close to that. And but it's 4x of the money is from the Creator Connections program. So if I do $25 in commissions, regular commission earnings, I'm doing like 125 of Creator Connections. It's like, it's insane. I don't know how long it will last for. Like if Creator Connections goes away, you're going to switch up the business model and focus on commissions more. But there's so much nuance to it because there's like, I'm getting products like $1,000 pressure washer, $400 e-bike rack for my car, which I install it and then sell it on Facebook for $150 after I make the video. Right. So I'm probably making like $500 to $1,000 a month extra selling crap on Facebook Marketplace that I'm not even accounting for. Right. Eventually, I'll have to probably liquidate all the small items, like things that are under $20 that aren't worth selling on Facebook on Whatnot or something, because it will just be the fastest way to get rid of, UV 400 polarized sunglasses starting at $2, like whatever, $7 out the door. Right. But then there's also like when I request a sample and then a brand hits me back again, like, hey, we really liked your video. Can you do this product? Now the ball's in my court. And I'm like, yeah, I could do that product for $30. Do you know what I mean? And so when they come asking me, if I don't really want the product, or if I look at the data on the product and I don't think it's going to make me money long term, I'm hitting them with the $30 fee. If they want to do 4 products, we could do it for $100, right? So then I make the videos for them, and then they're like, okay, can we have a copy of the video to put on our website or our social media? And I'm like, yeah, for $100. You want a non-exclusive license for a year for that piece of content with an ability to use my likeness? $100. Do you know what I mean? So there's so many different ways you can make this. And some people focus their entire model on that only. They consider all the commission off the platform just cream. And their model is, I'm going to do 10 to 15 reviews a day for brands that paid me $30. You do 10 reviews a day for brands that paid you $30. That's $300 a day. That's $100,000 a year. Yep. Right?
It's the ultimate side hustle.
That's insane. And then like there's still even more. Like my boy RJ was telling me, get your profile set up on Fiverr. And you're a UGC specialist for brands. And he's like, I'm creaming like an extra $1 to $2K a month off of Fiverr. off of just brands contacting you on Fiverr. And so now I have relationships with brands that just like, they don't even hit me up. They just send me a box of products and then I film them and then they're like, oh, the video's done. And I'm like, yeah, I just put them up last night. Send us the link and we'll send payment. Boom, PayPal. You know what I mean? So it's like, I haven't even tapped the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg yet. Like I am not on TikTok Shop affiliate yet. So, I actually did sign up. So I haven't used my Reezy Resells TikTok for like at least 8 months. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm just old, I guess. And TikTok I never really liked TikTok. You know, I have 70K on that platform, but I never really like wanted to put any effort into it. I think it's just for like younger people or I don't know, whatever. Just didn't feel right for me. So I haven't used it for a long, long time. And I was like, you know what? I might as well use this account to make videos for TikTok Shop. Because if I have to start from 0, you have to grow it to like 5K or whatever to get approved for the program. And when you make shop videos on your TikTok account, they don't serve them to your followers. But if they do hit the FYP, they will see it. But the thing is, you can always go back and delete them if you want to. Yep. Like if I begin like, oh, I'm going to take TikTok serious now, I'll go and delete all those.
Right.
But I know a lot of people that do both programs and they're like, Reezy, whatever I'm making on Amazon, I'm making the same amount on TikTok as well. So what that means is that I'm only not even 90 days into this thing and I'm basically making $5,000 a month and growing, recurring. And I could be doing another $5,000 a month on TikTok Shop affiliate. So you get samples there too. And then you can review those products on Amazon and you take your Amazon products and you review them on TikTok. It's just insane. Like how's that even real?
Wild. Literally just taking videos of stuff and posting it on the internet.
The dumbest videos ever. Like no one knows the rules. Like people are like, do it like this, or if you show your face, or if you don't, and then like all of my data goes against that. You know, like I don't make thumbnails, right? I don't edit. All my videos are one take. If I mess up, I just record it again because I know editing is what takes longer than making the video. These videos are like 30, 45 seconds to 2 minutes. If I have to edit, that takes longer. So they're like one take. They're not edited. I'm not putting up any thumbnails. Like sure, thumbnails probably don't hurt, but I'd rather make another video than make a thumbnail. And so, you know, I'll maybe let my VA go back and make thumbnails at some point in time, you know? And then part of me is like, here's a good example of like, do thumbnails help or do they not help? Does the consumer look at a video with a thumbnail and go, that's probably someone who got paid to make this? Or do they see like an average guy and just go, okay, that's like an average guy. That's the one I want to watch. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like no one really knows, but people are out here like branding their shit with like, you know, you see the blue LED in the background, you know it's your guy. And you've seen his reviews before and you liked it and it helped you buy a product. So when you see that blue LED in the background, you click on that one because you know that's the person you could trust if you're someone who watches reviews. And like, I'm barely into it, but people got like top-down camera, front-facing camera, close-up camera, and they're like operating them with a foot pedal. So they're still doing live one takes, no editing, but they have like a 3-camera setup. You know what I mean? Like there's I don't know. It's just insane. There's so many levels to it. And I think everybody should be crushing it, especially if you're someone who's an Amazon seller and you're also a content creator. Those are the 2 skills you need to do this.
Right.
Like there's a company called We Tested It that's doing over $1 million a month in profit. And they have a whole army of females across the United States reviewing products for them. So I don't know what their deal is. They pay them $5, $10, $30 for a video, maybe $5 per 100, whatever the value of the product is. But I would imagine you could get people to make videos for you for free. For example, if Kaj was a welder, I'm not a welder, so I can't order welder products because if I reviewed those, it would be like the review the brands don't like. It would be an unboxing and it'd be me just talking about a welding device or a helmet or whatever. But if I was like, hey, do you want some welding products? I'll send you products for free. All you need to do is make a 1 to 2 minute video about them, and then you can just have the products. If you don't like them, sell them. Boom, now I'm sending you welding products. You know what I mean? Or if my brother has a cat and I don't have a cat, now I can order cat products straight to him. He'll make the videos for free, be happy to get the products for free, and now I'm just pimping people out and getting videos. Do you know what I mean? Like there is so many different ways you could do it. And sometimes I'll get like I like to get office chairs, like $300 office chairs, and I do not care what the numbers are on Amazon as far as it sells or doesn't sell. Never sells at all. I don't care because I know I can sell that on Facebook Marketplace for like $80. You know what I mean? Brand new $300 chair for $80. People will come in like 2 days, takes 10 minutes to put together. And the crazy thing is that I've had multiple people on Facebook Marketplace show up and I'm like, hey, small talk. Thanks for coming to get this. I appreciate you. And they're like, yeah, no worries. I was actually going to buy the exact same thing on Amazon, like the same color and everything. And I realized that I'm putting screenshots of Amazon into my Facebook Marketplace listings, right? Like I started doing it to show the price, to anchor people for the price, right? Because I want to get half of what the Amazon price is. That's my goal, right? But I also will sometimes put like some of the product images as well, and then my own images. And I realized, I'm not sure, but I think Facebook knows these people have been looking at these products on Amazon because they buy data. You know what I mean? And so they're appending their customer data with their behavior on Amazon and linking it together and then serving them my ad or my product and like, oh, this is going to convert. Which is crazy because Facebook doesn't make any money off in-person transactions.
No.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know, but it's the thing I'm most interested about right now, and definitely could very easily be like 5 hours of sleep a night just because I stayed up till 3 a.m. and I got to be up no later than 8 a.m. You know what I mean? And like whatever, like hit it hard, you know, because it's not going to last forever.
I was going to say, yeah, strike while the iron's hot. Yeah, for sure. But who knows? It might be something where it's like, you know, maybe, like you said, maybe if the Creator Connections program changes, but you're still making commissions, because it's one of those things. Once the videos are up, they're up. So even if like, you know, you go hard for the rest of the year, then you just coast at like 5K, 10K a month for, you know, it's wild.
The opportunity. Yeah. I think if I stopped right now and did nothing for the next year, I'd make no less than $2 to $3 grand every month for the next year. No less. And maybe more because I'm still coasting upwards. And then there's crazy things like, so I did a brand deal with Alibaba recently where they flew me out to Vegas to go to their conference, the Co-Create conference, where they have like 150 suppliers there. And it was really cool to meet with suppliers. And so this crazy shit happened where I'm on the floor with all the suppliers, and I had some people that like some Reezy fans or whatever that like were like, oh, Reezy, I watch your videos. And like, so we were just kicking it, you know what I mean? And I had my little flock. And I was telling them about Amazon Influencer Program, and they're like, what do you mean? And I was like, shit, hold up. And I just grabbed the product off the shelf, and I started doing my thing. And I was like, yeah, it's just like that. Like, that's how easy it is. Put it down. And then the brand owner walks up to me, like, right, either the brand owner or like the guy from the factory in China, like walks up. And because I think some of them were brands, but most of them were just factories that were demoing some of their brands or mock brands showing their products. He was like, you're a genius. Like, wow, like you're really good at this. Like, here's my card. We want to work with you. And so then I started walking around doing it at all the booths, and I got hella contacts of Chinese warehouses and brands that want to work with me. And somewhere in my body, I have this feeling that I'm about to get flown out to China to like work with a brand, like, you know what I mean? Like, not to go to find my own product or whatever, but just to go work with the brand, because I was doing shit. Like, I was not only showing them how I could sell their product better than them, I was showing them like, bro, you're not even talking about this feature of your product when people come. Like, this is that product's cool. Like, one example was there was like this shaver that's also a light, that's also a phone battery. So it's like a phone charger with a snap-on thing to buzz your face, transformer, pull it off, put on the light. But it came with this cable that was coiled, right? Like a coiled stretch out cable that was a 45-watt cable, which means you could charge your laptop with it. And then on the end, it has like a transformer end where it's a USB-C to USB-C cable, but this end had lightning that snapped over it. And then this end had, I forget, another type of USB. But basically, if you had that cable, there's nothing you couldn't charge. You know what I mean? USB-C to lightning, cool. USB-C to micro USB, like whatever. And I was like, bro, that whole box, this cable is the one. And I'm literally talking to these Chinese dudes like this. And like, they even gave me a Chinese name because they're always like, oh, my name is Timothy. And I'm like, bro, your name's not Timothy. Like, you want to know how I feel about that? Like, what's my Chinese name? So they told me my Chinese name is, was it Meka, which is like Mike, basically in okay. Chinese.
Oh, that's funny.
Because I was, anyways, but so I was, and I'm like adding them all in WhatsApp and like DMing, and like I'm gonna get massive amount of opportunities from this, from brands, from sponsorships, from like maybe going out to help them with their R&D, to like, bro, like, no, this is what you should be focused on with your product. Like, and because the reality is that, I don't know if either of you guys are on Whatnot or watch it, but there is people that liquidate electronics on Whatnot, for example. And a lot of these electronics liquidation are the same type of bullshit products that I'm reviewing. Chinese products, no one gives a f about the brand name, but you want to, you know what I mean? You could get a drone. It's not a DJI drone, but it's as good as like the last model or the model before that, and it's like a tenth of the price. It's like $100. You know what I mean? But the DJI drone equivalent of that is like $800. And so if we have that, and you're a Chinese seller on Whatnot, and they are on Whatnot, right? They have Chinese sellers on Whatnot that are liquidating in the States because it's too expensive for them to send their returns back to China. So they freight it to Amazon from China, but when they get returns, they just store them locally in a domestic warehouse, and they probably have a service where they do it for a ton of Chinese sellers. And so now they're selling on Whatnot, but their English is not good. They're obviously Chinese. And so like if they try to sell that $100 drone, they might get like $12, $18, like $8. But if you have an American selling that same product, $25, $35. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Americans just don't trust buying from people that don't sound like them.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
like imagine like in like high ticket sales, you want your closer to sound like the native language of the people you're trying to close. Like, it's obvious.
100%.
Yeah. And where would you send somebody if they wanted to learn more about the Amazon influencer program?
So I have a YouTube video that I made recently, two actually. And one of them, so I could give you guys a link later, but one of them starts out with me opening boxes. So it's literally like 15 minutes of me just opening my free samples and showing you what I got. That video is almost everything you need to know. And then in the description of that video, there's a 60-minute call that I did with Trevin from Viral View, where I asked him every question ever. So it's not it's an unlisted YouTube video. It's for my internal community. But watch both of those videos, and you should have everything you need to know. If you need more, Trevin has a Skool group called Reviewer Champions, and I could give you guys my link for that as well. But it's quite affordable, and that they have like a mini course in there that will teach you everything you need to know. You can ask questions. Viral View also has a really active Facebook group. That's really dope. So I'm in there probably every single day. I'm also in the Reviewer Champion Skool group as well. But if you're a smart person and you understand how Amazon and content works, I don't think you need any of that. Just film 100 videos with stuff around your house, and you will instantly be making money. I promise you. And then from there, you get into creator connections. You start requesting samples. You start using software. Like, I mean, I didn't even talk about like this is crazy because you're not spending any money to do it. But like, for example, you also are going to modify your own purchasing habits on Amazon to be more favorable to your new business model. So 2 years ago, before Creator Connections started, for Christmas, I bought my daughter a big ass rectangular trampoline, like the one I wanted my entire life, right? Not a circle, rectangle, baby. And I'm looking at them, and they're like, I don't know what brand of trampoline is good. And then I realize, I'm like, oh, they're all the same. They're all just from China. Do you know what I mean? They got different brand names and barely any different features. And so I could have got one for $600, but I paid more and bought one for $700 because it had a better opportunity for me to rank on it as an influencer, meaning it didn't sell as much as the $600 one, but the $600 one had 40 influencer videos on it, and the $700 one sold half as good, but only had 4 videos on it. And so I was like, oh, it's because if there's under the max, like if 6 is the limit, which it is right now for top carousel, if there's 5 and you make a video, your video goes up for sure. Guaranteed. It will go up there. Now, if someone comes along and adds another video, the 7th video, Amazon's rotating them in and out and leaving the ones that work the best up. So now you're competing against people, and you don't want to do that. That's actual hard work, right? So in 2 years, that trampoline has made me enough commission, not even creator connections, just 2 to 4%, 4%, I think, sports and outdoors, but it's a $700 trampoline. So that's like $30 every time it sells. It's made enough to pay for itself twice.
Wow. That's
right?
Crazy.
How crazy is that? And so then we're not even talking about the tax implications, because then you could say, oh no, I bought that trampoline to make a video.
Yeah.
That's a tax write-off. That's a business expense. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to make more videos about it too. because that's the definition for whether or not you can make it a business expense. Is if it's an asset that you use in your business, it's a business expense. If it's a thing you use and then keep, it's not a business expense. You'd have to sell it to yourself, right? And if you sell it, then you have to pay income tax on, so like whatever. I'm not an accountant. But if you're continuing to make videos about it, and like, dude, bro, people are out here grinding themselves to the bone trying to make money on YouTube, and this is the easiest shit you could ever do.
Right.
I make way more money off this than I do off YouTube. Way more.
That's crazy.
And YouTube was hard. This takes no effort. This is literally low effort, high volume, and it's printing.
I love that. Well, Reezy, we appreciate you, coming on here and educating us on the Amazon influencer program. I know I'm fired up because what happened to me was I did like 50 videos in the beginning, but I didn't realize, because I'm an idiot, that my associate's account and the influencer were like different. So I was looking at my associate's account and I was like, dude, what the heck? Like, I'm only getting like 10 clicks. It doesn't make any sense. And then I realized literally like a month ago that I had they were like a little different. So then I flipped them and I realized I had like made like $200.
Yep.
Like a year and a half ago. So
hey, right now, you can make more money by just joining Creator Connections. Like Google Creator Connections, Amazon. When you get off this call right now, do this.
Yeah.
Join, and then you will find that there is campaigns that exist for the products you have. Now, if you only have like 50 videos, you said?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
You could go and find them one by one just by looking for the ASIN. But I still think you should just sign up for the base plan of Viral View or whichever level has the automatic campaign finder. It might even be the free version. The Viral View has a free version that everybody should use if they're not going to pay for it because it's useful. But you could just go to Creator Connections page and click Run, and it scans your entire storefront and then searches those ASINs for you to see if there's relevant campaigns and also similar campaigns. Right? So sometimes you sell a product. If I make a video for this Yeti cup and someone looks at my video, but then they click on the cheaper knockoff product below it, I still make a commission if that one sells because it's similar. Viral View will also find those products and see if they have campaigns and apply for those as well. So they call that adjacent or halo sales. And so you run the thing, scans your thing, finds all the campaigns, accepts them, and submits the content links. This would take you 4 hours for 50 video, 4 focused hours, and Viral View will do it in 5 minutes.
Wow. Awesome. Well,
so just do that, and I promise you, like, you'll be texting me in like 3 days, like, yo, Reezy, I made an extra $5. I promise. I promise. It's insane.
That's so exciting. Wow. I guess I have homework to do now, which is awesome. Besides making more videos, always got to make more videos, especially if you're in one of these programs. It's always good to be active on the Amazon platform. All right. Now, with all that, we thank you.
Wait, we didn't even talk about, we didn't even talk about live videos. Amazon has live shopping. It's part of the same program. We've all probably seen it. Like during Prime Day, they put it on your Fire Stick on like one of the main rows on the you'll turn your TV on and you'll see Prime Day live shopping happening. And people are like walking on a treadmill and they're doing a live stream and they're talking about the treadmill for an hour and you're selling treadmills live. So it's kind of like Whatnot, except for you don't have to buy the product to sell it and you don't have to ship it when it sells because there's just value in people who can speak to someone and be a personality and extol the virtues of products and convince people to purchase. So that's the live selling. TikTok has it. Amazon has it. I haven't done that at all, but that's a whole nother ball game.
Interesting.
Wow. That is super interesting.
So many ways to play the game.
Well, guys, if you haven't checked out the Amazon Influencer Program, me and Kaj are both doing it. We are very on our journey. So hopefully we hope to get to as big as Reezy is one day. But again, thank you for listening. Make sure to comment if you have any topics, especially on the Amazon Influencer Program that we can discuss in the future. And if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, follow the podcast so you can stay updated on all of our new content. And we will see you on the next one.
Peace.
Reezy, that's crazy. You remember it?